Thank you, Sergey. Good morning, dear colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank GRAPHISOFT for all your efforts organizing this incredible event. I'm truly honored and delighted to be here and speak in front of all of you today. A little bit surprised they let me do it in English, but I'll promise I'll do my best. Sorry. So, my name is Nikolay Gordiushin. I'm an architect and one of the founders of Creative Production Union Pride. Our company was founded in 2013. I always believed that our thoughts and dreams are material. And I think that the best part of being an architect is seeing how our ideas and sketches are slowly taking form and eventually coming into life. The sketch is made by Sergey. You can see him before me. And it's gone. When I started, I'm an architect, and when I started my career a lot of years ago, the first design software which I used and which we used was ARCHICAD version 6.0. And if somebody told me 20 years ago that it would be here in Las Vegas presenting this new version of this beautiful software, of course I definitely wouldn't have believed them. And yet, over 10 years of collaborations with Sergey Kuznetsov and Sergey Choban, we managed to develop a team of highly qualified architects that brought into our life a number of truly visionary projects in Moscow and also in Russia. It's not all of that, but it's most interesting. In all of these projects, architectural solutions developed by using ARCHICAD. I remember at that time as time when usual hard work had to evolve into a hard teamwork. I think you know what I mean. Aquatic Center in Kazan for the Universiade 2013, Dynamo Stadium in Moscow, Stadium in Krasnodar, and also main media center for the Winter Olympic Games in Sochi. And the most complicated project for me, as I understand, the Luzhniki Stadium for the FIFA World Cup, which was last year in Russia and in Moscow. I hope some of you watched the matches. They were really amazing, especially the final. If you're interested, I would like to tell you a few facts about this legendary stadium. The stadium was built in 1956 and initially didn't have a roof. In 1980, it became the Olympic Stadium. In early 90s, time changed and became less glorious. The territory around it used as a marketplace and somewhere as a bus parking. In 2015, I was working as a chief architect on the refurbishment of this stadium when I got an offer to renovate and revive the territory around it. The 160-hectare project had to include safety perimeter, networks, training fields, playgrounds, and of course landscape design, and a lot of other facilities. All of these things had to respect the strict FIFA handbook. As you see, I knew about this territory, everything, not because I worked there, but also because I really like sport and did a lot of jogging track and workout there. But at first, it was looking too much to manage. Still, I decided to take up this challenge and saw how our company and my company started. For over 5 years, we grew up from 4 to 70 people, having accomplished a number of interesting projects in Moscow. I would like to tell about all of them, but we have time for only one, and I think my colleague will talk about it in more detail with, I hope, with a great passion. In most of our projects, we act as a general designer, developing design processes. But also we develop architectural and structural solutions, as well as master plan and cost estimate in-house. And main thing, in our work, we use the open BIM approach. It gives us great flexibility working with our subcontractors. Some of them can even integrate our system, their own software. Using open BIM approach allows us optimize our costs in terms of hardware and software, but also in terms of people involved in these processes. Up until now, we have only one BIM manager for our company for 70 people, and you will see him live soon. I hope our company won't collapse during his talk. Today we're also testing bundle with BIM model and cost estimate management, and thinking about future operation and maintenance using BIM model in future. And also our scheme of our company and how BIM manager is integrated in it. It's simple. What's more, we had an opportunity to work with international companies like Zaha Hadid, Nikken CK from Japan, Arias Ranea from Argentina, and others. In our work, of course, we're using open BIM approach. But I think it's time for me to present our key project that brought us here, the Rhythmic Gymnastics Center in Luzhniki in Moscow, that we developed using open BIM approach. And my colleague, Elena, and our chief architect will talk about it from architectural side of things. Thank you. Elena?
Как переключить на мою? Does it work? Thank you, Nikolai. Good morning, colleagues. It's such a pleasure to be here today representing Pride Company. My name is Elena Myznikova. I am a chief architect, and I would gladly introduce our project, the Rhythmic Gymnastics Center, from the point of view of an architect and how it is related to BIM. I'll start with a few words about the client, whom the Gymnastics Center named after. Irina Wiener Usmanova. She is an iconic person in the world of the rhythmic gymnastics. She raised the world and European champions and established new standards in this sport. Her strong will and a character of steel, in combination with her grace and elegance, inspired us to create something extraordinary. It's a rare case in architecture when appearance and character of a person fully translates in a building. And in order to impress such an impressive woman, we came up with the 4 completely different concepts. Each one of them was dynamic and unique on its own. Honestly, I like all of them. But which one do you think Irina chose? She chose the one that resembled gymnastics ribbon. Thus, the most complicated part of work started, and we had to face many challenges during the design process. The first one was the strict deadline for the end of construction. And at the concept stage, we created not only architectural model, but structural and MEP at the same time. We combined them together in one BIM model and started solving all the complex problems which appeared during the merging. So, spending little more time finding these solutions in the beginning, we saved ourselves a lot of time for the next stages. Also, it spared us from the unexpected mistakes on the construction site. As a result, we started in the beginning of 2016, and today the Gymnastics Center is almost opened. One more factor that played an important role in helping us was the BIMX app. It allowed us to simplify the connection with the client and project adjustments at different stages. Also, it was really efficient in communication with the contractor on the construction site. Just one funny moment. We once used 3D glasses to show some kids the model inside, and she stumbled upon a collision. Turns out, it takes one kid, one wrongly put beam, and one virtual bruise on the forehead to quickly eliminate a mistake in the project. Another one obstacle occurred in the very beginning was the question of multifunctionality. We had so many functions to combine in one little plot, 2.13 hectares. Here you can see exploited diagram, and we have arena for 4,000 seats, training halls, medical facilities, media zone, hotel for 110 sportsmen, and many more. So we collected them together in one unified rectangle and covered with unique and complicated roof. We integrated Gymnastics Center in the existing master plan of Luzhniki complex. However, it's a creation of modern architecture that harmoniously fits with the historical environment. Actually, in all of the buildings in this picture we participated, except the one in the background. I'm pretty sure Stalin had something to do with it. Now is my favorite part, the facade. The facade correlates perfectly with the functionality of the building. Therefore, the frontal facade with the main entrances consists with panoramic windows which go around the building. However, the closer you get to the hotel and office areas, the backside of the complex, the more pillars appear on the facade. The stereometrical simplicity goes unnoticed when you first approach the building. All your attention is immediately drawn to the floating roof in the form of a ribbon, which goes from the ground up on the eastern side and waves down on the west. The scaly metal covers of the roof reflect the sunlight and enhance the dynamic effect. By the way, what do you think was the main challenge? Designing and implementing this roof was by far the biggest challenge of the entire project. As for engineering part, we were exceptionally successful with retaining the perfect slick surface of the roof while avoiding unnecessary structures and leaving only the water drainage system. The wind and water resistance was tested in the aerodynamic tube. We paid special attention to the pattern of the covering of the gold band and its material and tried to find the best option. We had different variants. And we chose anodized aluminum as the best material for the implementation. As a result of this treatment technique, the metal surface became strikingly expressive. LA petals gleam and change their color when you look at them at different angles. As soon as we finished developing the detailed model, we immediately handed it over to the contractor and the client for the implementation stage. As a result, you can see 100% correspondence between the model, the project, and the completed building. And now you will hear more about BIM coordination of all project stakeholders and participants from the man who was right in the middle of it all, our BIM manager, Vitali. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you hear me? It's okay here? Yes, thank you. Elena? Well, I got the most boring technical part, but nevertheless the most important one. Hi everyone. My name is Vitali Krestianchik. I manage BIM processes in Creative Production Union Pride. In our company, I started as a chief project architect, but eventually I get more and more interested in BIM design. And of course, the most significant project in this field is the Reimagining Gymnastics Center in Moscow. Let's go. BIM is not only software. First of all, BIM means people. Here we have a crazy diagram of interaction of all project participants. And as you can see, not everyone actually dealt with BIM data. Sound. Someone has chosen the dark side. But BIM is not a magical solution. It's a tool for creating something bigger. Firstly, we create architecture. At least we honestly believe that we do. It is our company that is responsible for the architectural appearance of the building. Elena has just told you about this. Absolutely all architectural drawings at all stages of the project were completed in ARCHICAD. Our colleagues from Metropolis company developed structural and engineering solution for the complex. Frame structure, firstly in all plan. Later, model was divided into several sections and carried out in all plan, Revit, and Tekla structures. The conceptual MEP model was initially fully created in Revit, and then some sections of it in MAGICAD. And so the real OpenBIM began. Due to the fact that BIM models of several sections were developed already at the concept stage, we had the opportunity to make a real engineering calculations and to accept the key changes in the project at an early stage. For example, the cost of maintaining the microclimate only for wooden beams turned out to be the same as the cost of maintaining the rest of the complex. That is why we decided to replace them with a metal frame. As a result, it had a positive effect on architecture as a whole. The shape of the roof has become much more elegant. Don't you agree? At the same time, we didn't fall behind the construction schedule, which is also important. In the beginning of the project, all the main weight loads from the BIM model were collected, and it made it possible to quickly proceed with the project of foundation and the construction site development. And after the detailed design of metal frame in Tekla, the data from the model was transferred directly to the manufacturer of metal trusses, who additionally use their own made software. All changes to the architectural model were quickly transferred to correlating disciplines, and the other way around with the help of IFC, so we could make decisions fast and plan the construction schedule. One more item worth to be mentioned is the complicated shape of the roof. You have already seen many beautiful images of this building, but I believe that the real beauty of this project is right here, in this script. You see? The roof footing, the cassettes, and then the others. No? Difficult to understand? Okay, anyway. Obviously, it's quite complicated. And once it all started with a few polylines. Almost immediately after choosing the concept version, Rhino and Grasshopper were used in the design of the roof. Most of the script was dedicated to the optimization of metal trusses and the layout of cover and eaves cassettes. Due to the tight deadlines for the project, we decided to maximize the typification of all elements of the roof. We tested a variety of shapes and sizes of cassettes, and in the end, we chose the most universal one, the triangle. Only the junction points, as well as the corners, the individually designed cassettes were used. Almost all of the ones that you see in different colors are similar in size. And this again very positively reflected on the mounting schedule. Also during the process of architectural supervision, our specialists always had a tablet with a fresh BMX model and were able to find all the discrepancies between the project and its implementation promptly. So today you learned how modern architecture is created. You looked at the project from the perspective of its different participants: management, business, the creative group, and the technical side. We saw what a great tool OpenBIM is in achieving the common goal. And the goal, of course, is a completed project, which very soon, in this summer, opens its doors for visitors and holds its first competition. We take a pride in the fact that our project has been selected as a key one for the new version of ARCHICAD 23. We thank GRAPHISOFT for the opportunity to tell you about our experience. And now we invite all of you to Moscow. Thank you very much for your attention.